So I welcome you here, Senator Santorum.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
Can you use that so we can hear you?
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. Whoa. We turn it down a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Sounds a little. Can you turn the volume down? Anyway?
Yes, I'll talk to whoever's responsible.
Who's responsible?
There we go.
Who knows?
On the way.
Okay.
Who knows what to do?
Thank you very much, Cody. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you all for coming out today. It is great to be here. It is. This is a celebration of the completion of the 99 county tour of Iowa. I have had an absolutely wonderful time. People have asked me, what did I enjoy most? I said, it was just great being around the state of Iowa, getting to all the communities, the diners, the libraries, the town halls, the pizza ranches. I said been to 99 counties and I think 26 pizza ranches. So I know it's an Iowa small town tradition, and it's been great. The people have been wonderful. We've had small crowds and we've had big crowds, but in every case we've had people engaged, people who took the serious responsibility that Iowans have, that Iowans in fact fight for, to be a recommender or a determiner of who the candidates for president should be pushed forward or moved forward out of Iowa. You play a very critical role of doing the first cut in this process, and from this 99 county tour, I can say without question that Iowans take this seriously. They come and they're prepared and they ask questions and they really do kick the tires and give people the once over, which is important. And I think that's one of the things I'm actually relying upon in our campaign, that the people of Iowa do want to see their candidates. They do want to have the opportunity to look them in the eye and measure them up, and not just what policy positions they have, but what's in their heart, whether they have the character and they have the drive and the courage to be able to take it on. And you get that by having that one-on-one interaction with the candidates that you here in Iowa have that unique opportunity to do. So I'm excited about that, and I thought, well, at the end of this tour, we would put together a speech, and I wanted to do it on this subject matter because I felt like as I traveled around and talked to folks around Iowa that there was a common theme that came through from the meetings that I had that was candidly a little different than what you're hearing out there on the national stage. That we see all of these Republican debates, we see all of the commentary and everything going on, and it focuses just on taxes. Tax plans, spending plans, all of which are important. Getting this economy going is, of course, job number one. But to the people of Iowa, at least the folks that I've been talking to, they understand that there's more to America than taxes and spending. There's more to America than just the size and scale of government. That there are things that are the foundation of our country. And of course, the foundation of that country is the fact that America is a moral enterprise. That America is built upon faith and family. Those are the pillars of our society. I read excerpts of a book not too long ago written by Niall Ferguson, who's a professor. Wrote a book called Civilization, Harvard professor. Don't hold that against him. But and he talked about interviewing a man from China who had worked on a commission that examined, this was many, many years ago, that examined what made America the greatest country in the history of the world. The Chinese were thinking of how to open up their society and wanted to determine whether, what was the key to the greatness of America as a world power. And this commission was brought together and they studied America. And they first focused on America and its its military power. And they realized, no, that's not what made America exceptional in the world and the greatest country in the world. And then they focused on our economic power. They said, no, that wasn't it either. Then they focused on our form of government. And they actually determined, no, that wasn't it either. And the man says in this book that 20 years ago, we figured out what made America the greatest country. And that was faith. Faith. The foundation of our country. We talk about it in the pillars of of our country is built on what? Our founding document was the Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence says we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. That's the operative phrase. That's the heart of American exceptionalism. That rights come to each of us from God, the Creator, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that those rights can be exercised within the framework of the laws that God laid out, the higher law, the natural law that God has laid out, and that our laws, our civil laws, are held to account by those higher laws. And so if we are going to be a successful enterprise as America, we have to have laws that are consistent with, well, we ask God to bless this country. Everybody does. We have in God we trust. We have God everywhere. And yet we assume that we can do whatever we want irrespective of what God has told us is right or wrong. Well, Iowans know that's not the case. Iowans have told me repeatedly that's not the case. That we need to stand for those higher laws, the respect for life, the dignity of life, the respect for family and marriage. All of these things that we know are the moral foundations of our country. And so I decided that as we wrap up this tour and celebrate this tour of completing 99 counties here in Iowa, that I would try to put forth some ideas to reflect the values of the people of this state. That we need a president who's willing not just to go out and talk the talk, although I do not underestimate the importance of a president using the bully pulpit, using the ability to speak to the American public about important things without proposing legislative or regulatory changes, but simply talking about these important issues. We're all talking about class warfare, and we have for the past month. Why? Because the president's been talking about it. When the president talks about something and drives home a theme, America has that discussion. And there's lots of things that a president can and should do with respect to talking about issues of importance for our culture and our society. And I pledge to do that. So that's not a list of things like that, but it is a list that I put together and have thought through as to things that we can do in this country immediately upon becoming president, policies I can change through the power that the president has through executive orders and rulemaking, and then other things that as president I would lead to try to, again, lead through the national debate, but also to encourage the Congress to work together to try to accomplish. So today I'm going to lay out not just, fuzzy terms and things that that a lot of candidates do, but we're going to lay out specific details of things that I would do and that you can hold me to account for. And again, to create a vision for this country that has a country founded on the strong pillars of religious liberty and the moral foundations, strong families, and of course the institution of marriage, which is essential for those strong families. So if you permit me, since it's a long list and I didn't commit it to memory, so I will use my cheat sheet here to go through them. One of the things that George Bush never did, that I always complained to George Bush that he never did when he came into office on the issue of abortion, was to reinstate Ronald Reagan's restriction on Title X funds. Title X funds go to family planning organizations. And Ronald Reagan, when he put something, that the other side calls the gag rule, what it is, it says that those who receive federal funds cannot refer for abortion. That federal funds shouldn't touch in any way, whether it's funding or otherwise, should not touch the issue of abortion, that we should not fund any organization that refers for abortion. And so I would reinstitute the Reagan-era restrictions on Title X recipients for referring for abortion. Secondly, there's some person who like that idea. You can understand why. Secondly, reinstitute the Mexico City policy, which is we will no longer provide funds for foreign entities that do abortions around the world, which Barack Obama put back in place. Restore conscience clause protections for healthcare workers. We see this all the time, and it's a fundamental debate in this country as to whether religious liberty trumps sexual freedom. And it is a foundational debate. It's a foundational debate in the marriage issue. It's also a foundational debate in the area of abortion and health.